Here. All right, we're live. All right, here with Mitch White, MMA, bantamweight, and possible featherweight. Um, Doing just a quick few questions. We started working together about a month out from your last fight at 135, started at
Yeah,
158. Wanted to just kind of get your perspective on what felt different from previous cuts to this time. I know you kind of ate more food, but still made weight. So what stood out?
yeah, that would probably be the biggest difference from my other ones was eating more, especially fight week. It was the first time I was on like a strict diet plan and going into fight week, like already knowing what I was going to be doing and not just kind of like guessing it day by day. So that was pretty big. And then it was also the heaviest I started at for 135. So it ended up kind of being like a blessing in disguise because it was the easiest cut I have, but the heaviest I started at. So that was the biggest difference was eating more and knowing like what I was getting into fight week rather than taking it day by day.
Yeah. I'm hoping the goal. I mean, I kept saying it to you, but I say it to everybody. I'm like, I want to keep your stress low about the weigh-in, which is, I feel like now we've made weight together. It's a little easier to have that trust. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess that probably for you is, I don't know, a little bit easier focusing on the fight rather than the weight.
100%. Like in the past, I've had some where like my weight will go down, then it kind of goes up the next day, and then I get a little worried about it. So then I might push a little too hard that day, whether it's like a Tuesday, push a little too hard, and then going into the next couple days, I'm already kind of drained. So that was a big thing too, like seeing my weight dropping and dropping and dropping even before fight week with the diet and then hitting the water load and it's still coming off, coming off. So that was very crucial with the low stress because fight week is already very, very stressful.
I remember I
So
told you one of the days you're going to be 44, and then you hit that, and you're like,
yeah,
all right, fine, I'll listen.
yeah. That was when I complete trust was at an all time high. So
No, it's good. Well, I appreciate you. How did it feel during camp to have more food in during training? Because I know you're training your ass off multiple times a day.
yeah, that was big too. Like just knowing again, same thing with like the fight week, just knowing what I was going to be eating every day and feeling good consistently. You know, like especially in fight week, some days you're really down, some days you're really high, and like kind of maintaining a really good workout load from having a consistency in what I was eating on certain days really, really helped. And it just felt good, like mentally, like feeling dialed in like that. So,
Yeah. No, it was you were freaking dialed in. How was it doing? One of the things we've talked about, but how is it balancing nutrition while training, and then you were working a lot too during camp?
yeah, in a kitchen too with
Yeah,
some good ass food.
with some food
So,
around you.
yeah. So, like, I mean, I had a lot of help for sure. My girlfriend was weighing food out for me, so that was pretty cool. But like I would meal prep it, I'd bring it to work, I'd throw it on the stove with whatever I was cooking already, and just kind of try to keep it away from that with a little bit different of like a cooking oil. But um, it wasn't as hard as like I always pictured it to be to have like a strict diet. I always thought like it's a really like high maintenance thing. It really wasn't that bad. It was honestly more or less stressful just knowing what I was doing
Mm.
instead of like, all right, what am I going to eat tonight? What am I going to eat tonight?
You
Like,
kind
oh,
of
I
just
got
have
home.
it. Yeah, you got it
Yeah,
ready.
because like some days you get home from the gym, it's like 10, and then it takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes to cook all your food. So then you're eating right before you go to bed, and it's just like you don't feel so great when you wake up. But like having it right when I get home, or being able to bring it to the gym, microwave it, eat it there. So it was just the biggest thing was just the lower stress and feeling dialed in. So
I like that. And one of the cool things too that I'm just like remembering things now from one of our first conversations was you weren't really eating as many meals. Like we increased the amount of times you were eating throughout the day. So how was that with losing weight and eating more? Did that help
it
with like
was
the amount of
weird. It
hunger?
was really weird because I've never been a big eater, honestly. Up until like probably like the last year, I've been eating more and more, trying to eat more. But like I used to not eat breakfast before the first time I trained, or like sometimes not eat till 12 if I'm working or something like that. So it was it was nice, like waking up eating, working out eating, snack eating. Like it was nice to like just keep eating, but at the same time, like you said, like the scale every 1 to 2 days going down consistently, not feeling like I'm depleted either was a big part too. Like we said, I started at 58, but by the time I was 52, like I wasn't feeling depleted. Like I felt strong. I felt
Mhm.
really strong before the cut. So, and I felt pretty good on fight night too. So, um, yeah, it was just such a huge difference from not having anything to having such like a structured system. So,
Yeah, man, you freaking killed it. One of the last things is I know the one of the main things we wanted to focus on, which I want to improve for the next fight, is the carbing up and for digestion for sure, and kind of balancing that because it's an interesting thing when you're pulling so much water out and you want to refill with carbs. We also need to get liquid in to get things moving. Walk me through how that went. I know the first few hours was kind of tough, but then how do you feel in the cage compared to times before?
yeah, so like I think I overdid it a little bit off the scale. I think I was like just putting that drink down a little too much.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and like yeah, my stomach was pretty messed up for a couple hours, but once I got some food in and like chilled for a little bit, I was fine. And then the next morning was when I really, really started putting the weight back on. Like I think I went to sleep at like 48, which is still a lot for me to gain back. Usually I want to get to like I probably get to like 45 to 47 at the highest. So right there, I was already heavier than
yeah,
all my other ones. And that was without even like being able to put as much in as I wanted to. So I went to bed around 48 and I think I woke up around 46 or 47. I didn't lose much of my sleep, but I put a lot on like compared to that day, the day of the fight. I think I was like when I left, I was like around 52 or 53 and I felt good too. Like so I was just around where I started the water load at. So I was feeling really good.
yeah.
And I
I
felt
remember
strong.
you said like overnight, like what at like 5 a.m. it like all like turned, and
Yeah, it
then you
was
finally
weird.
like
I woke up at like 5 a.m. and I was just like craving water. So I got
yeah,
up and I was chugging water. My stomach felt fine. I started eating like some dry fruit and just like whatever honestly was around because I didn't
yeah,
have there was no mic first off there was no microwave in my hotel room. So when I was cutting away, I had to eat that tilapia cold.
cold
It was
cold
terrible.
coffee,
It was
no
terrible.
salt.
There was no salt, no microwave. So I couldn't warm any food up when I woke up. So I just was like I had like a muffin, some dried
Yep,
fruit. I think I had like a protein bar or two. And then later that day I started eating like actual food. But
yep,
yeah, it was weird. It was like overnight and I felt fine. But
yeah,
after it was a little rough right after the weigh in, but it's never perfect. So
yeah. We'll work on that for sure. It's interesting. Everyone kind of processes. Some guys after the scale just go in, and then some guys like slow load it. So we'll go a
yeah,
little slower next time,
yeah.
but that's how it goes. But all right, man. Well, I appreciate it. I guess last thing would be if any athletes and stuff are looking for whether they're fighters or whatever else, what would you, I guess, recommend for them, or what would you explain the benefits of kind of having somebody to help you with nutrition and supplements and stuff?
Um, I mean, first off, like if you don't, just try to be open minded with it, because um, I I kind of hesitated to do it for so long because one, I didn't know who to ask for. Two, I didn't know how much it would be, and then once we started doing it, I realized like there's a reason why all these professional athletes do this, why they have someone to help them with their nutrition and recovery. And um, I would say just try it out and you'll understand why it's so important. So,
Yeah, no, that's smart advice. And I would say to people, I always tell people too, I'm like, you don't need a coach, especially if somebody like nerds out about nutrition. If they spend hours a day studying, they're just interested in nutrition, supplements, recovery. It's like you don't need to work with somebody. But if you're focused and work and do other things, then it's like an investment in something else rather than you doing it. Somebody else can help you. But
yeah,
either way, freaking killed it, man. So I'm excited for the
I
future for
appreciate
you
you, bro.
and future
Thank
fights.
you.
So appreciate you, Mitch. We'll talk soon.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
I'll stop recording now.